All right, guys, welcome back to the channel, and thanks for dropping by. Tonight, I'm just going to continue working on my emoji project that I started a couple of weeks ago. Got to have it finished by Friday. So, yeah, we're just going to keep pushing on. So, let's jump right into it. Okay, so yesterday in this during the stream, I basically built out all the eyes for the expressions, sort of cataloged to, sort of grouped the eyebrows and eyes together with the noses. And then I sort of quickly roughed out the mouths a little bit. Tonight, I'm going to do a little bit of project organization on stream just to sort of get into the groove. And then what we'll do is I'm probably gonna like reset up the project, kind of like set things up on a kind of a grid, I suppose, and just make the project a little bit tidier and sort of, this is kind of like project maintenance, I guess. But I'll be here if anybody wants to drop by and talk. I'm just getting a little more practice with streaming and hanging out and just doing the things I want to do. Johnny Omar. Hey man, good morning. Good morning to you. Yeah, it's evening time here. Thanks for dropping by, man. You ready to get into it with me? All right, let's do this. Uh, so what I think I'm gonna do first is, I think I'm gonna, uh, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pair up all these sort of head shapes with their corresponding expressions, and then I'll start like sort of reorganizing the project a little bit. Hey, Arthritic, you dropped by too. Fantastic. Everything sounds good. Nice. Thanks, guys. All right. Yeah, I got the room nice and cool before I started tonight. It was surprisingly cool today, but it was still pretty roasting out there. I'm yeah. All right. Nice, man. Nice. Thanks for dropping by, guys. That's so cool. I hope you guys are having a good morning. All right, let's get into this. So what I want to do is I guess I'm gonna start locating these things and sort of moving them around a little bit, getting them where they need to be. So, for example, this guy can exist here. All right, yeah. And then I'll just pop him into that group, move him down a little bit, like so. And then we'll just continue on this way. Where are you? Actually, I can probably get it done a little bit faster too by just going right up here and then moving it down like this. All right. See, this one's doing nothing, so we'll just get rid of it. Busy day today. All kinds of stuff going on. Whoa. That's so weird. Why is that? Why does that look like that? There's like components of one thing in another group. Maybe it doesn't belong. We'll figure it out. This one, you go here with these guys. You go here. All right. I actually I gave some thought to doing this off camera, but I actually kind of ran out of time today. We're busy running around, still not completely moved into our new place yet, so it's just taking time to get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, if you catch my drift. But we're okay. Where are you? There you are. You can move these components around with these keyboard shortcuts. A lot of people don't know these. I don't know. I feel like nice. All right, man. Yeah, I always like to show these off when people drop by because it was something that I didn't know about. But if you ever are frustrated with moving stuff throughout the layer stack, guys, like this shortcut is super helpful. Like command brackets down, command bracket right is up, left is down. Really useful for moving stuff through the layer stack really effortlessly. It's just at a certain point it gets easier to just you know uh, attack it with the mouse. But these days, I find myself really trying hard not to use it too much. But old habits die hard, I suppose. Let's see here, crying, crying. Where's the crying man? Oh, he's already got his face, so this is like kind of an extra. Nice. And then happy boy here, and then pleased boy, and then here we go. Nice. All right, so there we go. And let's see, what else can I do for this project? I got rid of the text this morning, and I don't know if I'm quite ready to abandon the sketches yet, but I'm going to turn them off for now. If I need to like sort of move them around or whatever, I think I can sort of, you know, like if I need the sketches later, they'll be there and I can just duplicate the layer and then move it around and erase or cut out what I need and don't need. And it shouldn't be too big of a deal. So I don't want to get too caught up like trying to protect that layer. All right. Now I want to give each one of these a little space because we're gonna need yeah, it's time to get relaxed here. We're gonna need a little bit of space for sure. Yeah, unlock everything, uh, pull everything over just a little bit, sort of zoom out, start. I want to make sure I have plenty of space because I'm gonna expand on these quite a bit with the ears and the hair. They'll get real big real fast, and it'll take up a lot of space if I don't make it nice and cozy in here. I also want to kind of play around with resizing them. I want to make sure that I've got all uh, the transform override turned on for all of them. That way, like I can resize them. But so far, I feel like they're really cohesive as a set, as a group. It's like they look that's important too, when you're doing a project like this. There's a consistency that is necessary, I think. If things don't look consistent, it shows, and it really detracts from the whole, like the theme. If you know gosh, the emoji business, the emoticon business out here in Asia has got to be just like this huge market. Like there are these really complex and really hilarious like sets of emoticons and emojis that you can buy that are animated. Some are animated, some are not, but they are used. They're some of them are so hilarious, and people pay like upwards of like between $3 and $5 sometimes more for a set of emoticons that they can use. That's it's like they're just paying for that the emoticon set. So it's pretty uh in interesting. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I like the way that they're sort of congealing, right? They're started coming together. It feels cohesive. I feel like it's working. Whatever it is, it's working. I was a little bit worried. I, I have drawn the character a lot, but I haven't actually been super consistent with the character in my sketch pad. I've got several different versions I was sort of playing around with, to like see which way I wanted to take it. Um, but I sort of like where I ended up. It's not quite the Huion house style, but it's close enough to where I feel like when you see this character, it looks like him, you know, and so maybe they will think so too. And maybe I can win a tablet, a display, a drawing display. All right, cool. Actually, I want to save the project here. I've already gone ahead, and if you see the file name here, I've already saved it as version 3. So now what I need to do is, oh man, I really do want to see the sketches. That's all right. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, we're gonna duplicate that layer, and I'm gonna go around, and what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna cut everything. I'm gonna actually move this layer all the way to the top so I can see it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start cutting and pasting everything really quick, and I think that'll set me up for success. Let me make sure my tablet driver is on the right thing. I wish, man, I hate to complain about it, but I wish I didn't have to do this every time, but I do. You have to sort of reset. I wish it would just kind of stay, but it's actually cool because if I just set the all programs preset to the same as this, I don't know. Anyway, never look a gift horse in the mouth. And I don't want to seem ungrateful. This is such a sweet tablet. Quick menu, lassos. Whoa. Oh, because I'm not in Pixel Persona. There we go. All right, cool. Let's see, we're on this layer. Command X, Command V. Cool. All right, lock it. Next, we'll just escape, move this sucker around. Do the same thing, duplicate. Lasso tool. Actually, there's not much here for this one. It's kind of a, yeah. There we go. I just want to make sure that I have that stuff in place for my notes because sometimes it'll bug you, you know. You'll get to a point and you'll think like, "Oh man." All right, man. All right. I'll try to do that, Johnny Omaha. Um, yeah, I got to get this what I'm trying to do here is I'm moving around my sketches, right? Because it's one of those things like sometimes you'll be working on something and you'll remember you had you had an expression in place that was working or something that was you know something that was viable and suddenly you forget what it is and you're like it's really frustrating and all you want to do is just like go back to your notes or something like that. And it's kind of one of the drawbacks of working digitally is that more often than not you'll delete something and that you really needed. So right now I'm just kind of like uh, going back and organizing the different parts of my sketch so that I can have it in place and there in case I want to refer back to it later. There's that. Let's see. And it's moving along pretty smoothly. It's not taking as long as I thought it was going to take. Let's see. But how about this quick menu, right? Oh my God. Um, they really just nailed it with this tablet. And having my keyboard and the tablet keys to play with, it's just so comfortable, you know? Let's see. Ooh, gotta be extra careful on this guy. Man, I can't wait to get into the where they're where they have their crowns and they have hair. Oh man, that's another thing. We got to figure out what to do with the crowns. I almost forgot about the crowns. It's all right. We're gonna be okay. Crown is integral, right? Because the crown, it's like it's an accessory for the character, but it's it's vital because it's the logo of the company. The three pencils as the crown. Epic. Wow, look at that. Confused is still in place as well. That's excellent. Then we'll just hop down here. We'll do the same for this one because it's already in place. Oops. Good to go. Lock those two. Um, is this one in place? Oh, almost. Cool. Awesome. Good to go there. Sometimes I feel a little, I wonder about what people are interested in. I'm super curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it, especially because you guys seem, I really appreciate you guys' interest in the stuff that I'm doing, although it's not as remarkable as I think like what a lot of other people are doing. But to me, I think it's important, like one of the things I don't like about what's going on YouTube these days is that because, and this is the way I jumped into it too. When I did my affinity session, the thinking that I had was like, I want to make this like, I had only had a little bit of experience making videos at that point, and so I didn't even know how to use Final Cut Pro that well when they asked me to make that video. Um, but I tried to make it as like smooth and as polished as possible, and I got a lot of comments and a lot of praise about how well organized the video seemed to be. But when I look back at it, I see all kinds of nonsense in there and stuff, and a lot of my other videos followed suit. And but what I realize is that like it doesn't tell the whole tale, like there's so much going on behind the scenes, and it seems like people don't want to show that kind of stuff because A, it's not flattering, or maybe B, it's they don't want to give away their real trade secrets or what have you. So it's like I don't know if you guys, I'm so curious to know if people really enjoy seeing like this kind of stuff because this is what a workflow is. You know what I mean? That's a part of the reason why I started thinking to myself like doing live streams is kind of the way to go. And then maybe what can happen is YouTube doesn't really reward you for sticking to like one thing. They want you to kind of be like a jack of all trades on YouTube. So you got to be like making shorts and doing all kinds of stuff that you don't really necessarily want to do. But it's like I can always extract like little tidbits out of live streams, and maybe even like jump them onto Twitter or something like that to attract traffic or something like that. Sometimes ideas like this cross my mind, but I just wonder like, is it you guys have obviously come by and shown some interest in what I'm doing, but seeing the process like this, is it helpful or useful in a way that is meaningful, or do you, I mean, how do you think about it? That's something I'm curious to hear about later when you guys get time. What, see, I'm gonna erase some of this actually, and actually I don't need to. I can just lasso it out. Some sometimes I watch videos of people's workflow that really doesn't look like a workflow. It looks like and I tried to do this myself for a while. I was making videos. I was trying to like sort of rehearse things so that I could do it more smoothly. But what I realized is it doesn't always help. It actually starts to sort of hinder your progress after a while. Wow. Okay, this is all set. And then now what I can do is I can just get this all grouped up and we'll call these sketches. Cool. And then let's get started. All right. So what we've got to get into here, let's see, did I, okay, so I reconsolidated the layer stack. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpin this and I like the layer stack being out like this. It's really helpful to have it really tall because I don't need a terrible amount of space while I'm working on these. But I like to have all that stuff available. So let's get into it with the pleased look. I think this will be one of the easier ones to sort of knock out. Oh, that's another thing I want to do. I want to get things on layers because what I really want to do is what I'm going to have to do at some point is I'm going to have to I'm going to have to start separating some of these groups to make the emoticon itself more manageable. And I would rather just have the vector objects in vector layers. It could get weird and tricky though after a while. It could lead to problems, but this is the way I kind of want to approach it. So yeah. So what I can do is when they're in layers like this, I'll be able to draw in those layers just by selecting them. That's the main idea. Um, because I will be doing some drawing, I imagine, here in just a little bit. And then, yeah, that should make it a little bit more manageable and tidy. You can, like, for example, if I select this group, right, and I attempt to draw in the group with a vector tool, check it out. It doesn't treat the group like a layer, right? So like the object that I'm trying to draw doesn't go into the group, which is good. I mean, you don't always, it's a behavioral preference that, but once I draw in a layer, it becomes part of that layer. And so it's much better for keeping projects, you know, it's better for your workflow, or at least it is for me. But in the beginning there, be, that phase of the work is kind of like constructing the components, so I didn't want to work on layers because I wasn't sure. One of the annoying things about layers is if you work inside of a layer, you've got to do all this collapsing to get things out of it. So I would rather just like work naked sort of and like throw everything out on the canvas and then collect it into groups and then dump it into layers, when I'm ready to move in that way. And so that's sort of how I went about doing it. Um, these all need to go inside sketches. Cool. And then we'll label that layer red because my sketches are red. Get rid of the original sketches. I don't need those anymore. A little bit of saving. And then let's do it. So I've got 14 emojis. That's pretty good. That's a nice little collection. All right. Let's do this. Components. Let's just dress up our most basic fellow here. All right. See how lovely that is too? If I select the layer and drag in an asset, it also just gets put neatly inside the layer. So I'm going to take this off. So it's uh it's really nice. Now this crown's like way too big, but it's actually kind of cute like that. Let me make sure. I hope it scales down appropriately, and it does. Looks really nice. I think that's good. I like the way that I've designed the crown. I don't see too many problems with it. If I just take a look at the group really quick, if you remember, we've got these, they're set, the layer modes are set to erase up here so that I can see through the crown. That way I'll be able to see his hair, little hair parts. Um, Another feature of this one is I used these to sort of describe his hair. Oops, put it inside there in the wrong place. In different ways. So what I need to do, what I'm trying to do now in this phase for this first guy, he's going to kind of help me set the tone and sort of the strategy for all the stuff that I'll be doing. Yeah, that's that. Um, yeah, I'll have to shrink it down a little bit. It's a little bit too large. But basically, I'm just trying to get a feel for the approach that I'm going to have to take to sort of make this happen in the right way. But gosh, isn't this character just adorable? I love this character. Um, they really hit it out of the park. I didn't, Huion wasn't on my radar for a long time. I mean, I was really into my XP Pen. I think XP Pen's a great company too. It's crazy. I mean, you gotta have a lot of respect for these guys because they're both, I think they both have like really positive points and, they have to battle with behemoths, um, for their share. So actually, it's really impressive. Yeah. So I think that actually, I feel like the hair is actually in really good shape. What I want to do is I'm going to pull in a reference image from, I'm going to use Fawari and pull in a reference image real fast. So I want to make sure I sort of, actually, wait a minute, go over here. I downloaded a bunch of references that I can use. I just got to find them really quick. Um, Pictures, Huion mascot reference. Let's see. Yeah, nice references. But that'll mean that I'll have to do something with my assets here. I'm not really using my brushes or my styles right now. Let's put these guys down here and that'll make plenty of room. I can maybe even get away. And then what I'll do is view as a gallery. I can sort of flip, maybe I'll make a little space here. Yeah, nice. And then I can bring my assets back out and they can live happily over here. Yeah, cool. And I think I can get through this with my arrow keys. So some of these are, there we go. That's the Leon that I know from their website. And I like the way he's shooting the little magic out of his hands. It's cool. It's weird. He's kind of it's like you see him sometimes he has fingers and then sometimes he has like these kind of a mitten things. He's like a mitten, he's got a pointer digit, a thumb, and then like a mitten hand. And then other pictures he's got like three or four fingers. So I kind of like how there's some flexibility. It's like cartoon characters are magical. I sometimes think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Um, the rules don't necessarily apply to them, so it's fun because you can break the rules a lot. And look at this little statue of him that they have that you can actually purchase it on their website. It's really cool actually for a little character. I kind of want to get one now for inspiration. Throw it on my desk. He's a cute little dude. And I see now that there's a detail that I'm missing in mine, which is so interesting. I'm not sure now if I've done well, but if you look at this, um, does he have whites in his eyes? I need to look at some more references because if you zoom in really close here, if I get in really close, oh, that's search. I can't zoom. Let me just open this with preview. If I get in really close on this, it looks like they've given him eye whites, actually, and I'm totally wrong. But I mean, that's not a totally negative situation for me. It's like, it may, you see, there's like this kind of eyebrow secondary as like an eyelid, I suppose, and then there's white, and then there's this really beautiful sort of iris around the pupil. I like how they've used some kind of material to make it look like a real like iris. And then he's got this slight bottom lip thing going on. One, two, three, four hills. The the hair seems to deaden into the crown, and then there's that. But I'm doing more of a 2D style, so I think I can sort of safely ignore the back part. We'll see. All right. That's all I wanted to check out for now. Maybe we can stow that and then get back to work. Um, so what was I doing? I used these. And also, yeah, I'm working with holding lines, right? Cartoon holding lines, like black holding lines. So maybe that's going to be something that I have to sort of take into consideration. I'll have to go back. The finishing stuff. I'll have to go back and I don't know if maybe I don't know if I can do it live because I will probably be in a pinch for time. Um, and so this one actually should be all of these should be above actually, and then um, yeah. But I think I'm gonna have to go back and make sure my line weights are real consistent because I switched over to pixels from points the other day. Actually, I can switch it back real quick, but um, at some point I'll have to decide about the line weights consistency. Um, Tools, performance, user interface, show lines and points. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure how to deal with that. 3 points for now is okay, I suppose. Actually, I want to kind of group these together and duplicate them, flip them. I'm not thrilled with that. I don't like the way it kind of interferes with everything. And then the crown, when the crown's into the picture, the crown sits just behind his eyebrows. So maybe all of this stuff needs to go. And then let's bring the ears in. Move this down a little bit. Change this to 3. So this is why I wanted to put everything on the layer. I hope you guys are seeing it now. Um, when I ungroup all this stuff, I can have supreme flexibility. I can move it all around, get it in the right order, um, without worrying too much about, you know, losing any of it or anything like that. Yeah. This dude has so many moving parts. It's really wild. Um, I want this to go behind the head. And let's turn the hair off for a minute. Look at my reference one more time. Yeah, the ears are a little bit elongated and they sort of flow backwards. I mean, this is a sculpture. Let's look at some of the artwork. So they are a little bit thin and elongated, and maybe I should incorporate some gray into them. He's a spirited little dude. I'm assuming he's small because, the pen is bigger than him. He's a tiny dude, and and so that's okay. Gosh, some of these guys did really good on their artwork up for this. This was like from a contest. It's beautiful. Okay, I think this shape is pretty good. Did I turn this on? Yeah. Wait, it doesn't feel on. Okay, there we go. At least I want you guys to be able to see what I'm trying to do with the keyboard. All right, and then okay, cool. And this looks pretty legit. And then we want to make sure we leave it at 3. And then again, we'll have to deal with this hair situation. The hair, this is the trickiest part of this thing. It's so wild. Um, I have an idea. It's kind of funky. I'm gonna try it. Okay, check this idea out. All right, here's what we gotta do. What needs to happen is this part of the hair needs to rest behind the head, and part of it needs to rest in front of the head. Okay, so I'm wondering if maybe I can use some erase mode, and then also I can use the shape builder to sort of cut the shape out of a shape that I can use for erase mode, if that makes any sense. I'm just gonna have to show you guys what I'm talking about because it's a little bit weird and complicated, but in my head it's working, so let's try it. Yeah, gosh, it's so weird. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Mm, get rid of this. We don't need this. And then what I want to do is how can I do that? This is something I should know. But what I want to do is I want to toggle everything off except for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all this, toggle it off, select these two, toggle them back on. We need to work on this part. That can be on as well. All right, so for this one, I want to change I'm going to change the inside color to red because that's just the way that I remember that this thing is supposed to erase. But then I want to duplicate this layer. And the reason I want to do that is because what I intend to do with this is I intend to, okay, mm, there we go. Let's just work with this stuff in a strokeless way for right now. Okay, cool. I'll turn this off. So I'm thinking like, maybe that'll work, maybe it won't work. Thanks, man. Yeah, erase layers are super useful. You hit the rower as a morning workout, Johnny Omaha? That's awesome. I've got a morning 5K ritual. I don't I do a little bit of running sometimes, but mostly I walk 5K every morning. That's my sort of wake up exercise. It really helps me sort of stay stable mentally. I don't know, like getting it all out of my system like real early in the morning. I'm trying to figure this situation out with this one, but it's getting a little tricky. Maybe what I have to do is okay, maybe this needs to be the thing that erases. Um, so we set this to erase, or maybe, or do we set it to erase? Why would we do that? Yeah, if it's overlapping this shape, if this shape is in that group with those, if I pull this up here, and then what I'll do is I'll ungroup this. Yeah, but that doesn't solve it because we still have this blue situation here. So what we have to really do is we have to solve this. Last time I handled it really sort of when I did my preliminaries, um, when I did my preliminaries, I handled it in a really ham-fisted way, and so now I'm trying to figure it out. Like, how can I make this work? This is a really important design feature of the character, like that overlapping, like sort of, tuft of hair that like comes up. It's really important to have it be able to do that, but making it do that in a way that's not so frustrating is tough. Maybe I have to split this into two objects somehow. Let me get rid of it this way. And so, man, it's tough. It'll come to me in just a second. This is on erase mode now. So if I turn this back on, there's that. But then this blue part, I don't need to be afraid of losing it or anything weird like that because I have, okay, so I don't need this thing to erase that part. So maybe that's the thing. I, okay, I'm starting to see it now. And then this thing, it needs to be just edited so that it doesn't overlap. We'll get rid of this. Okay, got it. I understand now. It, it it seems a bit ham-fisted to me about it. This part seems like it ought to be behind somehow, but it can be done well. What I may end up having to do is see, because this is it's tough because it's not a pixel image. If this was like pixel art, I would have it inked, right, first, and then I would be putting the colors behind the ink layer. So much easier. But because I'm building the components with vector objects, sometimes when you have like these overlapping vector objects, it's really tough, or these overlapping design elements, it's really tough to get them sort of, how do I say that, to justify them with the vector tools. But I think I can go about it this way, and then in the end, what I may end up having to do, which is a little more, little extra work, but it'll be really worth it if I go back in and vector ink everything. I'm really fast at it now, but it'll be another step that takes about an hour, maybe, if you know. But if I just go back and vector ink all of it and then do the colors under the vector ink once I have the characters, the expressions all finished, that may be how I have to approach it. That way the colors can be really nice. Yeah, I think that's probably how I'm going to deal with it. I don't know, some more experienced vector workers could help me solve that one, but for now, that looks about right. And then if I just go back in, select all, toggle it all back on, the problem is solved for now. It's getting a little crowded up there with the crown and stuff. Um, but it looks good. I think it's noticeable. Maybe these tufts of, maybe this situation could be a little less intrusive up here. Maybe we'll group this together, pull it down in size just a little bit. We want to see it. We know he has hair. We know the hair comes in there. But yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. I feel like I could do some more with the hair, but I think if I'm going to continue and be productive during this session, we're just going to have to understand how things are working. If I group this together, yeah, I'll group that together, duplicate it, flip it, and move on. Because not all of the expressions are going to feature this sort of overlap situation. Nice. He definitely looks happy, but it doesn't look quite right to me still. Feels like these should be lower. And then maybe even, oops, thinner somehow. I don't want to spend too much time on it. It's also it's covering his it's covering his brow situation. Maybe let me look at the reference one more time. Where's my Finder window? Did I close it? That's no good. Where are you? Let's see here. Pictures. I think I closed it on accident. There we go. Don't go away. So yeah, like it's so wacky. The ears are in front of it. I knew it. It didn't feel right. The ears are in front of it. That's the problem there. So actually, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now that's perfect. Okay, cool. Nice. And so these go up above the hair, behind the head still, but and then all this is when you start realizing like what all needs to happen. So we can group all the expression parts if we want, but actually I'm just going to move them all up in the stack above the ears. Ooh, so that's also tricky because the hair should be above the ears and above the face, or below the ears and above the face. Oh, it just keeps getting more complicated. Oh, thanks a lot, Johnny. I really appreciate that input. Yeah, I think that's important for people too. the way that things are these days, I had a really interesting conversation with one of my professors when I was younger, and we had this conversation about, do you sing or whistle when you walk down the street? And my response was not really. Sometimes I whistle. But my professor, he was into theater and stuff. He's a really smart dude. He's incredible. And he was like, "Well, why do you think that is?" And I was like, "Well, if you were to walk down the street singing, people often sort of, you know, direct some sort of vitriol or you know, they're uncomfortable with your openness and transparency. It's almost like it makes people uncomfortable." And he's like, "Well, keep digging into that. Like, why is that? And we would talk about this sort of thing like at length on several occasions. But it's like people are afraid of being judged until they don't do things that they don't think that they do well or perfectly out, and they are afraid to appear vulnerable. It's really about vulnerability. It's like that. It's like people are afraid to appear, oops, vulnerable, and rightly so. I mean, we live in a pretty wild place, a wild world, if you will. But okay, check this out. Let's see if we can make this work. I put the ears and the hair above the head. Oops, sorry. But yeah, I guess that's what I was getting at, like with all that. Evergreen content. I would if you, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, man. I realized a while back doing that those the getting into YouTube. I realized there's like a sort of a dark side that comes with being putting yourself out there on the internet. So it's tough to explain, but here's my idea. Check this out. We use erase layer for this, right? It erases everything, but if I group it with my ears, it only messes with the ears. I can adjust the size of it to compensate for how you see how it's reducing the the ink lines, or I'm sorry, it's being reduced by the ink lines, so I can sort of adjust that as I need to, which I've got this turned on right now, so it's not good. Actually, if I put the stroke back on it, I wonder if the stroke will actually be erased too. Nice. That helps a lot, I think. Okay, so we go back, we just put the stroke back. Cool. The ears are still there. It's a little weird. There's a little bit of an error there or something. Yeah, that does really, it's really awful. Sometimes YouTube, I had a different I still enjoy YouTube, and I'm still glad I'm doing it, but it feels it feels a lot different than what I had imagined. But the older I get, it seems like everything in life turns out like that. For sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, and there's nothing to it but to go through it. You just it's never what it seems, and it's always a roller coaster. But and then you look back on it and you're like, you see it, hindsight is 2020. You see both the good and the bad, and then you can add that to yourself, to your experience as a human being, I suppose. It's hard, I haven't always, I'm not always the best at staying positive, and I think it's why I'm always telling that on my channel and stuff like that, because it's almost like I'm reminding myself, but also hoping that other people will do it too, so I can live in a world where we're all trying to be positive and helping each other, because I've definitely not done that always, and you learn lessons, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, man, the dopamine and the viewers were definitely a part of it in the beginning. I really lost my head when I got sucked into the affinity stuff, for doing that. I kind of lost myself a little bit. Like, I just really wanted to succeed. That's all it was. Um, I just really wanted to succeed for my wife and for my family, like, but and I still will. And to me, I'm realizing now that success has like many different, it's geometric, it has many different uh planes. There are many different planes to it. It's evolving, it's geometric, it's like a diamond. um it's not just a plaque that you put on the wall like success. It doesn't work that way. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, like, people are afraid, like, if you that was the point I was getting to with my professor and the whistling speech, or the whistling conversation, because it was like, hey, a lot of people whistle really well. They don't whistle when they're walking down the street because they feel like they'll be judged for being a weirdo who whistles while he's walking down the street or something, and a lot of things in life are like that. People don't want to act in the school play because they're afraid people are going to make fun of them. Like, people don't want to, you know, they don't want to show people their artwork or their process because they're afraid people are going to judge them, or they're afraid. It's imposter syndrome to the maximum. I was really dealing with that for a while. People don't want to, you know, you don't, nobody wants to be, it's almost weird. It's almost like hiding from the truth. It's like, it's okay if you're not like the best. Just, I don't know, just do it. I don't know. Man, that hair situation is tough, Johnny Omaha. Yeah, man, success is not what it appears to be on the surface. And it seems like if you watch a lot of YouTube channels, which I admit I take, there I have guilty pleasures. I love to listen to the latest drama about this or that in some circles. I got a lot of channels. These days I'm always watching the drama about, surrounding Lucasfilm and Disney and stuff like that. I'm really into that because Star Wars was like so huge for me as a child, and to see what happened to it and how it's been wrecked and just nearly destroyed, and just watching all that happen, and then like listening to all the details and drama surrounding the situation, um, has been really interesting and enlightening, and yeah, it's another example of how success is not what people imagine that it is, and how I think it has to be I think it has to be defined at the individual level, but you also have to take these really sort of, like, concrete metrics and rubric for it. Like, um, you can't really make a good argument for being successful if you become alcoholic and sort of throw your life away, and you waste a lot of opportunities and ability and things like that. Like, or there are many different scenarios, but there is a concrete rubric. However, that's only one side of it. Oh yeah, you're for the Star Wars stuff. Me too, man. Me too. I love. I've got a lot of YouTube channels that I watch concerning that stuff. Oh man, hold on. I'm trying to. I want to sort this out so I can. I feel like this has got to be sorted soon. Let's see, 3.5, 4. It's almost. It's almost there. That looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I feel like the ears, something has to happen with them. They're in trouble somehow, but I don't know how. I think they need to be stretched downwards, right? If I look at or squeezed somehow, squeezed and rotated, maybe. Let's get in there on the individual level. Let's go for it this way. And then they go up a little bit. And almost if I really want to get they almost they go back in perspective just a little bit. So what if I just leave them how they are like this? No, no, no. I like this one. Make them a little thinner, duplicate it, flip it, and then what I can do is I can actually go in with the perspective warp on these and sort of warp them back and make it sort of fit into that somehow, maybe. I don't want to make them 3D, but I want to try to stay true to the character. Let me see if I can look at another version of the character really quick. Where are you? I really like this one. He's so fuzzy and adorable. Yeah, they kind of fold backwards like in a perspective. Oops, sorry. So let's see about that. Let's see about that. See if I can make that happen here. They maybe I have to try to incorporate a little bit of that 3D action. Maybe that's the way to do it. I think once it's taking me forever to get this one sorted out, but once I get this one sorted out, just like before, it'll be much easier to process the rest of them since I'm attacking it in this sort of assembly line sort of fashion. And then once I get all the basic models assembled, then I can go back and really like personalize each one. Like for example, this one, if the nose is way too, it's like the nose and the mouth are way too low. It's almost like yeah, there we go. Drill into that. And then this one, we want to transform it and drag it down. And it doesn't necessarily need any. Man, it makes me feel weird. Like, should I make the eyebrows larger or drop them down a little bit? Maybe both. Drop them down a little bit, make them a bit larger. Because no, 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 no. That's getting silly. Um, let's just keep it. I'm gonna stay with my style of drawing. I think like it's gonna be my representation of the character. But yeah, and then I'll take this one out. Do the same thing with this one. Turn my sketch layer off real quick. looks pretty nice. And I'm wondering, part of me is wondering, like, should I even have his little hair parts overlapping? Do I even need to suffer and go through all that? I think it really adds a cool effect. Like it's really impressive to know that it's vector and it's done this way, but I really want that shape to be so pleasing and I don't want any weirdness in it. There we go. And I'm gonna get rid of the other one and replace it with that one. So get rid of this one, replace it with that one. And I think, yeah, I'm having to make some compromises because of that design choice, but I think it's okay. What I want to do is, oops, go in here and grab these whiskers and move them down a little bit so that you can tell that they're there. What's the final output size in pixels? Well, it doesn't say on the website like exactly what they're looking for. And I think with emojis, if you're really making real emojis that can really be used, I think you have to actually output it. I don't know how that's supposed to work. Emojis are basically font SVGs, right? And then that means they can be resized when you make them. But I'm thinking that the way that they've got the contest set up, it's like it's really vague. It's like they just want to see the images. So I'm not sure. If I were to output this in pixels, it would be 800 by 800, roughly. Yeah, 800 by roughly 800 by 800, which is relatively small. But I mean, and since it would be vector, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never sat down and actually tried to design an emoji set before like this. I've never. So yeah. Actually, I just did all that work on those hair parts. I'm thinking to myself, what if I just transfer the expression here? Because basically, let's see, it's the same. What I'll do is I'll duplicate this, move it over. Yeah, okay, cool. These are going to be the only two which feature that hair thing, or at least for now. So what I think I'll do is I'll grab all this stuff from this one. Uh, I'll grab, or do I? Man, yeah, let's just try. Remember, we sometimes it's helpful to remember, we're not okay. Cool. I accidentally duplicated that, I suppose. So we duplicate we get rid of this. We go back into this duplicated layer. We get rid of all this expression, all this part of the expression, and we might as well get rid of these as well. Pull these back. Get rid of the original eyebrows, and then play with the crown a little bit, which needs to come down. Oh, the crown and the hair need to come down. So we'll grab those two. The hair, the hair parts. I'm gonna have to play with that too. It doesn't, it's, this guy is super tricky to pull off. Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, man. I've seen there are probably some YouTube videos we could probably both watch right now, like to tell you exactly how you might want to go about doing it. But I'll figure all that part out. I think I'm safe, like they're vector. I've got the scale override on, so I know I'll be able to resize this stuff once I get it how I want it. And yeah, so we should be able to make it work. Oh, this goes down behind. Oops. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. What am I doing here? What's going on? Call this layer 2. All right. I'm going to leave that how it is for right now and just move on a little bit. Hey, thanks a lot, man. You two have a great day at work. Thanks for dropping by, man. Let's see here. We'll lock those up. Let's see what's going on with Mr. Sad here. I don't have any plans for the hair. All right. Let's get the crown in there. Into layer 3. Shrink it down a little bit. I'm gonna try to like add some expression to this by sort of squashing it a little bit. So it's almost like the crown is even shrunken. Ungroup all this. Okay. Want to pull in, let's elementize some of this stuff. This can be an element. There we go. Let me just pull that in. Oops. We want that to be in layer 3. There we go. And also the ears are important. It's an important little element. There we go. Cool. So we can go back to selecting the layer, bring those in. Go. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to sort all that out later. Get this all lined up. Okay. All right. I'm gonna hit the aircon for a little bit. Let's get a little. I feel like the ears should be sad somehow. Maybe I'll go to my maybe yeah, like something like that. We'll go to the other one. Do the same thing. Oh, they're sad. I'm sad. Deflated. Defeated. It happens to the best of us. Boy, I tell you, working with the vector warp sure beats going in there playing, the node nudging game. Sometimes it's much better, right? I really like this one. It's so cute. I may just get rid of this one, dupe this one, and then flip it. And then I'm gonna draw in the dreads behind. I think it'll look great. We'll pull in the hair like this. Good. Okay, no problem. And then I'll select the head and then draw. Um, use fill auto close. Okay, let's try. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot. Peace. All right, let's see. Get rid of that one. Okay, let's go back in. So he's sad, right? So there's a deflation. So there's a little bit of that going on. Oh, we get to put it behind. There we go. And then one more. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. They're pretty nice. Let's see. Uh, the nodes look nice on that one. The nodes look not so bad on this one. I think we're okay. Maybe they can just be a little bit more, little, just a little cleaned up. The shape is not like, I want the shape to have some plumpness to it. Let's just try to redraw that one time. Actually, yeah, one more time. Let's try. There we go. That's kind of what I was going for right there. And then this one will go up above it. I feel like his little whisker parts are a little bit crowded here. They just need to come out a little bit more. I think it'll help with the readability too. Cool. Get these evened up. kind of want to. What I'm thinking now is I think with these outer parts, I want to I want to shrink them a little bit. I want to do transform separately. Just shrink them down a little bit. And then we go into here, grab this guy. Actually, what I think with this expression, I think it would be a lot more effective if the nose was like, if the nose and the mouth were hiked up really high on the face, like he's, you know, really sad, like he's sniffling because whatever has happened to him. It's like "Hmm, somebody dissed me on social media. Although people can be so harsh. Maybe that's too high. Let's take a step back. It was a good impulse, but it it's almost a little bit too high. I feel like what I kind of want to do also is like re redo the shape. And oh, I have a great idea. Hear me out. It's a simple idea, but I think I had the idea yesterday. I just sort of didn't implement it while I was working. So reset this, change the color to the blue. Whereas the eyes. So it's like the level of his he's like crying the blue out of his eyes. It's like this. Like there's the water is kind of there, and then what I can do is I can actually go in with the knife tool and cut a wavy line into that, so it looks like maybe I can do a better job of that. One second. Not quite. One second. Okay, let's get in there with that knife tool. There we go. That's where we were. That's what we were after. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's overkill, but I'm gonna go with it. We'll sort it out later. It's a lot of blue though. Maybe the tears have to be another color. Um, or are they already another color? Let's see. Wait a minute. Yeah, they need to be changed. So do the tear parts. So yeah, why don't we go 25%? Getting back to my roots. For anybody that's interested, I'm still working on my comic project. It's just yeah, you know what I've been really busy lately, guys. That's actually pretty nice. I like that color. And for that one, I want to see some whiskers. I feel like the whiskers should always be present. They should always be easily found somewhere. So for this one, even if you can't see them because of the hair. There we go. Let's do this. Flip it. There we go. Cool. We'll save. Okay, this one was the good job. The good job action. So what I kind of want to do is I need to actually go back into the second design here and repair a little bit. Into the ears because I want to reuse these ears. I forgot that this needs to come down. And actually, I want to take the warp groups off of these so that can get a little bit more flexible with them. Yeah. There we go. That works somehow. I guess all this stuff can really come to the top, right? Except for the whiskers. Except for the whiskers. So, yeah. And then this can actually come down just above the hair there, but it's still behind the hair on the top of the head. All right. Cool. And they're reading really well at small sizes. This one, the mouth is a little bit misplaced. It needs to be moved over just a little bit. That's better. Cool. Let's see here. Go back to the sketch layer. Get a little bit of that. Um, we'll copy this style. Move it to layer 10. Whoa. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then I'll just draw in this part. Paste style, move it down. Oh, I'm not quite sure how I should handle that thumb. That looks pretty good. We'll, we'll, we'll see if we can get away with that. And then put this in the layer, layer 10. And then because it's a happy thing, we're going to draw in some, for this one, I think we'll draw in some happiness hair. How's that? Um, like it's up. Yeah. Like floppy puppy dog ears, but it's like floppy Huion Rastafarian food dog hair tufts. Maybe those are okay. Actually, that one seems a little bit too big. No, just this one. And then we'll ungroup this. Pull it down. Part of me wants to I got an idea. I'm gonna do something different here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this guy, pull it out here, group that together, stretch it out a little bit, and then I'll vector warp it with a quad mesh. And then my idea is like I want to pull it down to where it looks like it's almost like this. Yeah, nice. Okay. All right, guys, there's nobody in the chat. I've been at it for about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to do another 30 minutes, but for right now, I think I'm going to go refresh my tea and then I'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, let's keep going. Um, let's see where we're at here. There we go. We need the crown in the picture. Get that in there. Pull it down. Kind of like the way it's looking all right now, right out of the box. So it looks pretty good there. Maybe for this expression, it's going to sit really high on the head because it's getting pushed up by the eyebrows. And then we'll put this in the back and that'll go even further. That'll be behind the head this time, just to sort of keep it neat. And then maybe these ears are not working because they've got that little weird overlap problem. So I'm going to actually delete that set of ears, go and find this set, which is doing really well. And I'll use those to for this one. Okay, nice. And then we'll just move them down. Cool. I like this a lot. It's so happy, you know? And maybe what's missing from some of this stuff is let me just see what happens if I try to add what I want to try to add is I mentioned earlier like I was looking at this and they've got this sort of inner eye lid situation on theirs and it appears, see, it doesn't appear here. They're going more cartoony here. It doesn't appear there. Doesn't appear there. I like this is really pretty to look at. I like how he's got like an inner pupil, like a pupil and then an inner pupil. But I could this one could do with some energy, right? Like this creates a lot of energy with these extra little pieces here with the confetti and the sort of the blasts, the radial lines. So maybe we can put something like that in there to really pop that, make it pop. Oops. Cool. So maybe and then maybe that hair needs to come up a little more like that. What I'm thinking is line mode, maybe a different color. I don't know if I should use like yellow or gold. Let's try like a gold. And then what we'll do is we'll create that with a stroke. Actually, it is a stroke, so that's not going to work well. But let's go. Oh, here's a new thing in beta that's really cool, guys. Temporary keyboard or temporary tool switching with keyboard shortcuts. So it's like if I hold down the A, I can switch temporarily without actually switching over to the tool. So I let go, I'm still in pen mode. Really cool. That's really cool stuff. Really great addition. It's not really popping, right? Mm-mm. Let me go with a Let me go with the pencil tool. We'll actually put pressure on. I have some ideas with black. Oops. And we don't want to auto close. We don't want to use a fill. We just want to lie. It's like you wouldn't really see those as emojis though, right? Like actually we'll go none because my hand's not cutting it right now. There you go. Maybe it should radiate from his eyes. That doesn't work. It has to radiate from the image, so from the body. So, or actually, I kind of like this shape. I like the arrangement of these three. Just group those together. Dupe and flip. It's pretty cool. I don't know exactly what I'm going for with that, but I sort of like it. All right, let's keep moving. Um, Here we can sort of, I think we can recycle a few of these. I'm gonna put this hair here into the group. Um, this crown is fine to use again. So I'm not being too judicious about, what goes in and what doesn't go in to the to the asset components. Um, let's see. Okay. It's not, my memory's doing really well. I'm doing pretty good. Okay, cool. So I can use his hair again for sure. That really actually works much better in this one than it does in the other one. But we need it to be in layer 8. We need to work on layer 8 for now. And these ears seem to be working really well. We might not have to do too many adjustments to the ears while we're working on this stuff. Um, Whoa, what's going on with this? Because I haven't moved them yet. Okay. And then if we ungroup all this stuff, all right, cool. Let's get in there, see what we can see. Ah, the hair. Move that up. Cool. And for this one, we definitely want to, I feel like what I was trying to do earlier with the pencil tool with the black, maybe it should be something more like this, but we can get in here and go like that. Yeah. And then we'll get those stars. The first thing we'll do is we'll round up all the little groups. There are many ways you can go about this. The vector warp tool might be a really good way to deal with this, but whoa. Some feels right about drawing them in like that. So for now, I feel like that's okay. And actually, I'm gonna take this and put it here so I can have those stars. And I might do the same with a few of the hearts too. That way I can just drag them into the layer by selecting the layer. Shrink them down a little bit, spin them. Yeah, maybe make them a little bit small. Maybe make them different sizes. Maybe that's good. Ah, that's pretty fun. I don't know if it will read, but I have this idea, like with the eyes, what I want to do is I have an idea about a gradient effect. So for example, for the fill, what I really want to do is I want to how to I don't know how to go about it. I mean, I could do a gradient. Let's just see what a gradient looks like. Um, so get the gradient tool, fill tool. This will be this color, and then the top color will reduce the red. Yeah, that was sort of what I wanted to do. It looks nice, right? I don't know how well it translates though at a really small size. It does have a pop to it. We'll keep it for now actually. Um, I'm actually going to go to Leon's colors and add that gradient to the palette. Yeah, and then I'll just hit these stars with that gradient. That's nice. And then make sure it all goes the same direction. Oh, that's tricky. So what I'll probably just do is oh, nice. It's on each one of them in its own way. It's pretty cool. I kind of like that. Okay, cool. That's great. Cool. He looks good. The nose could be fixed a little bit. It's kind of not in the right position. There we go. And what was the sketch like for this guy? Um, let's see here. I'm gonna turn the air conditioner off. That's probably creating some artifacts and such. Man, that tea is really good. I don't know what the brand is, guys. I'm sorry, my wife bought it. It's Harney and Sons. The blend is called Paris. It's beautiful. It's like Earl Grey with vanilla and something else. So good. Oh my gosh. I quit drinking coffee a couple months back. Altogether, I feel much better. I still love to get my caffeine, and I think the theanine in tea, the L-theanine, really probably helps mellow me out, whereas coffee would just like send me into this like neurotic overdrive. But man, this is some good stuff. Ooh, I love it. Okay, with the heart business, what are we gonna do here? I feel like what I want to do is I don't know how to handle it. I think what we need is some hearts. So um, I'm going to actually dig into the eyes here. I'm going to ungroup them and pull out some hearts here uh, for the old assets. All right, and then pull that in. Okay, first things first, it'll probably be easiest just to get this step out of the way, like these tiny little hearts that I want floating all around everywhere. And I've got it in mind to I think I need to sort of chill them out a little bit to increase their readability. That was an issue last time I remember. That I cut too deeply into the spade of the heart, I guess you would call it. I don't know how to describe that, but I think it decreased the readability of the hearts at a distance, especially the small ones. It'll really make them look bad. So there's that. And, and if I really want to get fun and funky with them, what I can do is I can warp them, but I think they still need a little bit of editing. They look a little wonky, you know. Yeah, that's better. That's pretty. And then it's like hit it with this, hit it with the vector, the quad vector. I can get yeah, yeah. Vector warp coming through for the win. It feels good. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll twist it around. Where are the other ones? There they go. This one needs it gets a little more extreme with the warping, which is great. That'll be so much fun. I just heard in my head like the Looney Tunes "Auga" kind of sound like that. Like they always play it when the character like loses their cool over some buxom beauty who walks into the room. It's "Auga," something like that. Okay, cool. It feels like it needs a heart or two more. Like, right? It's not quite hearted out enough. Let's see. Something like that. I heard this really great. I heard this really great. Okay, so there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I was watching a video of Tyler Edlund's the other day, and it was like there was something called the rule of odds. And whenever you have a repeating element in an image, there's a thing that happens when you have mm, uh, even numbers of the element. What it forces your brain to do is like sort of create some sort of symmetry in the viewing of the thing. So it's like a dissonant note in music. So if you have an odd number of those repeated elements, somehow leaving that last one out where it would create an even set, it somehow improves the quality of the composition. And I looked at this in a few different pieces, and I was like, it actually makes a lot of sense. So here, while I have one, two, three, four, five, six on the outside, and then seven and eight, if I just get rid of one, it's kind of nice. There's a heart in here, but you can't really see it, and it's actually really nice because it's like it helps create, I think, a kind of a visual flow. So I'm gonna leave it like this. All right, now we gotta attack that hair. We'll get into it. Um, and we want a 12-point stroke. No, we want like a 4-point stroke. We want to use a fill. We want to auto close. Oh, and I want to take this off. Caps lock that. I don't know about this, guys. What if I use the hearts for the hair too? I didn't want to go that route, but some part of me is thinking now that it's actually not a bad idea. So I'm going to give it a shot. Mm, change the color of that, increase the size. Actually, we need to take it out of its group. Or no, we can just resize the group. That's right. Getting ahead of myself. Yeah, I kind of like this. It's as though his hair is also curled into hearts. And so we bring these down. It's really silly, but I feel like I like it a lot. Yeah. In fact, I think I could sort of group these together and resize that, make them a little bigger. Yeah. And get that secondary group back to where it should be. Let's put some ears in. Let's get some ears back into the situation. That was layer. I think I deleted them earlier, so yeah, cool. Nope, they would be above the hair. I forgot about that part. They're behind the face, but above the hair. There we go. I kind of like it. Okay, and then let's go with the crown. Let's get the crown back in the picture. Move that down. And I'm gonna tilt the crown a little bit to make it sort of seem like it needs to sort of fit in there. Shrink it down a little bit more. Oh, my grid. Your grid's showing, bro. Oh man, I forgot the crown on the other one too. We gotta go back and hit that up real fast. Okay, and we forgot the hair on this one too. I don't know that it'll matter much, but it could. It's coming together. It's coming together. They're coming together pretty well. Let's see here. 2 hours and 2 minutes. Okay, not bad. Might go for another little while. Let's get some ears in here. We've got to get these on the right layer though. Hold on one second. Right there. Layer 4. Layer 4. All right, here we go. Ungroup these elements. I think this one is kind of, it takes care of itself. We just need to add a few more little details to get it really working right. So we go down in that one. I feel like with this one, the warp groups need to be manipulated a little bit to give it some more character, like this. Yeah. Sorry, they need to indicate some sort of droopiness that's happening. And I think the pupils could be a little bit larger. They're not expressive enough somehow. I feel like they need to be they need to be like this. But it almost looks not correct somehow. So they're not lined up. That looks a little bit better. And then actually, what I want to do is include some blushing. Oh, I need a pink color though, something that I haven't used yet. Let's go over here. Come on. Okay. Let's yeah. Come on. Get off this layer. All right. Sorry, folks. 50%. And for this one, I feel like maybe I have to blur it a little bit or do something like that to sort of make it work. The shape is the shape needs to be something like this, maybe. And then maybe I will blur the shape, actually use some effects for once. We'll go in, we'll add a Gaussian blur to it. We'll put a distance of 6 pixels, no, 10 pixels. That works pretty well. Duplicate that. Zoom out a little bit. Turn off the sketch so we can see it. That's pretty nice. Let me see about this. Maybe uh just want to make sure it reads. I kind of like it sort of misplaced like that. Yeah. Oof. I'm noticing that the hearts on the heart version, the stroke on them is a little bit too wild. So we're gonna go in here and calm that down just a little bit. Takes a little bit of effort, but we'll get in there. Need to be 4. There we go. To make sure it's consistent. Okay. I don't know what to do with the hair. Embarrassment isn't quite sadness, but let's see if we can't. Actually, if you're embarrassed, it's almost like shyness. You want to hide. I kind of want to use this overlapping motif again with the hair. Like so, what I want to do is grab it all. bring it in here with him. It's starting to come together. I just let's see here. The crown has to play a really important part too. It's almost like, yeah. And then that'll go down always back behind the eyebrows to allow that expression to happen. But then the crown can be placed somehow like that, and then actually I think it was fine tilted the way it was originally, and then get the hair back in there. All right. What was going on with this hair in this group? There was a, there we go. Within this stuff goes down beneath that. Man, things get complicated in vector land, right? There we go. Let's do one front, one behind, but which one will be the one in front? Will it be this one or this other one? What if it's this one and then this one's behind? Something like this. Kind of like that. But then the ears have got to go. Oh, man, the ears are nothing but trouble, right? Okay, wait a minute. Ah, there we go. Oh, down there. And then, ah, I think at the end of the day, I will have to spend an hour or two tomorrow night um, working out the logistics of. I'm gonna have to probably treat this as like a cartoon, a vector cartooning situation, where I actually have to ink the image first and then color it with vector tools because it's got a lot of moving parts that make it really difficult. Like for this one, maybe what I have to do is I have to treat this separately. Like I'll ungroup the ears, turn this off. Yeah, that work group is sort of mucking up the works somehow. The work groups are. Let's see. They're in front of the hair. And what we can do is we can bring back the head erase mode just for this ear. So like, for example, I'll take this, I'll duplicate it, I'll bring it back up to this area, paint it red, get the stroke off of it, or not, just erase, and then put it above the ear, group it with the ear. It's weird because the vector warp distorts, it creates a distortion field around itself, so it's distorting it. It's distorting the erase. That's a really interesting phenomenon. It's there's a distortion. Well, what if I do this? Ooh, that's not good. What if I take the stroke off? The distortion ends. but or it doesn't even end. It's just minimized. You see the distortion's still there. There's still a little bit. It's really interesting stuff. Oh, all right, but this means that that will go above. Working all this stuff out is tricky, man. All right, and then this goes behind. Nice. All right. I'm gonna have to come back to that later. That's all right. What I've started to do, by the way, in other projects that I've been working on, when I use like the layer group, I'll go into the settings of the layer. Oops, not here. Uh, to the right click, and I'll pick a color like purple, purple for problems like that, like a sort of mnemonic device. This has a problem I need to deal with. It's a good way to mark a problem. I don't know, I'm not crazy about this one. Maybe, what if I vector warp group this? Let's make it more interesting. Let's see what happens if I, oh, I kind of like the way that really gave it a little bit more character somehow. I kind of like that. And then what if I shrink it down a little bit? I don't know if it's embarrassment or shyness. I don't know. This one I kind of already had in my prelim. We had some of those components worked out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in. I really want to reuse that stuff. Yeah, like this. Okay. So what I'm going to do for this one is take this, bring it all the way up here, take all the components out that I want to use, get rid of the eyes, just get rid of everything that I don't want. Get rid of all this. Don't want it, don't need it. Not appearing in this episode. Oh, I kind of like this one. I want it might be useful. I'm going to add it to the components here. And I like these ears too. That's just a duplicated version of this. So the mouths, we're not using those. We're not using that one. We're not using this. We're not using this. We're not using, are we using this? Nope. All right. The rest of it we're using. So I can bring this down into this layer. Oh, we're not using the doubled eyebrows either, right? Because we already have them. So what I'll do is I'll ungroup this, bring this out, and then rearrange stuff. So we'll pull this down. Bring this up, or wait a minute. Oh yeah, bring this stuff down. Stretch that out a little bit. These go up. This goes back. Actually, I want to get rid of this. This doesn't work as well as the other one does. This one works much better. It does work much better. I wonder what happened if I vector warp this. Cool. I like it a lot, actually. And this needs to come inside here because we want it to sort of bottom out at the mouth, at the bottom of the mouth. And do I need a stroke on this object? It's maybe not. Yeah, I think it's okay without a stroke on it, so we're gonna leave it like that, and then maybe just move it over a little bit or make it wider, something like that. And then I think what's wrong here is the nose is also needed. It needs to be higher, and this gray part needs to come in like that. The only problem with the shocked one is that he kind of invades space. It's getting a little bit out of hand at that level. All right, guys. I think that's probably have to wrap it up in about 10 minutes. We'll get through one more, but yeah, I've been on for a couple of hours. Not too many people have dropped by, so it's all good. Look at the sketches again. I didn't have plans for these guys. That's the problem with them. I'm wondering about this one. Maybe we can sort of get rid of surprised for shocked because they're so parallel. There's really a parallel to it. Okay, so the idea that I have for this one, let's just do anger because I think anger could be really funny. First of all, here's what we got going on. I'm gonna get this going on here. But it needs to go in the right layer. Where's anger? Anger's layer 12. Okay. So we get that going on. We ungroup. And then what I have in my mind for anger is like he's going like Vegeta. He's going like Super Saiyan. So I'm gonna search really quick for some Vegeta hair so I can have a reference, and I'll pull the reference image over so you can take a look at it. But um, and then we'll put some Vegeta hair on this guy, and it'll it'll make me laugh. I don't care. I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be funny. Let's see here. Images. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna do this. Are you ready? All right, Super Saiyan hair is pretty angular, so what we need to do is okay. It's amazing how much fun you can have. Um, we're gonna use a yellow fill. we're gonna use the same fill as before. I don't know if this is not the gradient fill. We'll use the gradient fill for now, but we might have to change it. Anyway, let me look at this reference one more time. I'm really gonna get it. Oh, sorry. I need to go. I need to go polygon mode for this, and I will need to move this over a little bit. Move forward. All right, ready? Here we go. Oh, what a use fill. And the stroke, we want to turn that black, and we want to move it down in the stack behind. All right, cool. Let's keep going. There are so many different pictures of the hair, and it's so wild to look at. But it's really making me laugh. So at some point, what happens is it goes down like this, and then yeah, and then actually you can just mirror it. I wish we had like a vector mirroring. That would be really cool. I mean, without having to create symbols and stuff like that. It's like vector symmetry. That'd be a cool function. This is too much, man. It's too much. Okay. And I think what has to happen is it has to be this yellow color like this, or actually this yellow is too much. We want to go down in yellow a little bit. It needs to be sort of an orange. It needs to be like a light orange. We'll go 25 on the red, or let's go 10 on the red. 15. 15 sounds good. And then once I get the shape right, it's gonna have to be let's see, shift. Oh, we'll have to do that. That helps a little bit. Well, actually, Vegeta's hair is like not. Vegeta's hair is like super spiky. It has very little like random curvature to it, but we'll add a little bit in there. Yeah, to make it more organic looking. I think I can do that. Get away with it. We'll have to add some lines in there to sort of yeah, man, I'm still at it. I'm still at it. I'm almost done. I'm gonna have to wrap it up here in about 5 to 10 minutes. But I had an idea that I wanted to sort of get out. So yeah, man, I'm going after it. I'm giving him Vegeta hair for the anger for the anger emotion. Okay, I'll back up. Here's what we got so far, Johnny Omaha. Let me just take you through a little tour here. I'll turn off the sketches. This is what we got so far. We got yes, dude. His power levels are over 9,000. Yes. You got this. A little bit of sadness. A good job. Well done. Job well done. I want to add some confetti in here or something like that. Well, I don't know yet. I'm thinking about abandoning this design in favor of just using this hair and overall design on this look. They're so similar, but I like the way the eyes are drained of color in this one. It kind of adds to it. I think so too. Using the hair as an expressive appendage is like it's really cool. I think I hope they think so too, but I like it a lot. It's fun as heck for me. I've been having so much fun with it. Then there's this one, like all struck, and I just decided I wanted to hit Vegeta. Yeah, 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 man, for sure. Just the chef's kiss, man. Oh, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the this the confirmation. I'm really into this right now. A little bit too into this right now. And what I want to do is I, I've got some reference images pulled up. I want to add some like I thought about what if I man, I don't want to go too far, but I gotta try it. Like what if I what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate these and then I'm gonna fill them with white and then take out the pupils. Oops, sorry. And then put some energy bursts in here. Maybe turn the skin like a lighter shade of yellow. No, that's not really working, is it? Yeah, it's not really working, but maybe this works. I don't know. Oh, I'm not sure. Oh no, no, you're not breaking my flow, man. You're not breaking my flow. Actually, it's actually fueling me, man. I really appreciate it. Just getting some feedback in the moment, from what somebody randomly pops up and says, "Oh, like that's the kind of stuff I'm wondering about while I'm doing this." But what I want to add is I want to get in here and add some over 9,000 lines to the image. Like, let's go 15 on the red, maybe 70% on the, oh, not 7%, 70% on the yellow, and then hit it with a little bit of this. Maybe they have to be even lighter to really register, like 25 and 25, like just something like something like that. And then what I'll do is I'll group those all together. I could probably just put those on a separate layer, a layer within a layer. And then what I think I'm going to do with the hair is a couple of things. First off, I want to change the angles to sharp like this. And it looks like the miter is okay, but I think I see a few places where it's not quite working. I'm going to bump it up to 8. It seems like it's starting to be, it's okay. And then I'll duplicate this layer, remove the stroke, put it to orange. I'm trying to create that like that that back shadow that happens when they're doing the power up, and it's like the effect of their aura is actually like lighting up their hair from within. So something like this. And actually I might blur that. Let's go to effects. We'll go Gaussian blur, 10 pixels. Yeah, man. That's the way. And then stick it inside here. Boom. And it feels like there should be some more energy somehow. Um, Maybe this stuff will have to glow. This stuff will have to have an outer glow. And that will be this color here, or maybe this color here. Yeah. Maybe that works. Maybe that's working. I don't know. I kind of like it a lot. I may have to come in with some effects to really make them pop. And if it sort of reads, they're not extreme enough. I think I need to get a little bit more extreme with the lines. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can't stretch them out a little bit. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think so too. I feel like I feel like I want to do something really crazy, like um, with the even with the crown, maybe hit it with the vector warp group and make it stretch out a little bit, like the energy is like sort of warping it. Like, yeah, man. Okay, like this. Yes, yes. Oh, but that's another great idea, man. The rocks that lift off the ground when they're when they're doing the power up. No, that's the ticket, man. Oh man, I gotta. How do I do that? How do I? Let's see. If I yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to draw a few in just to see what it looks like, but making some rocks that like are lifting off the ground is just a great idea, man. That's great. That's clutch, Johnny. That's I love it. Should they be blue? I think they should be his blue, like Huion blue. Um, let's see. What I'll do is yeah, and actually what I'll do here is I'll reset the pressure profile and I'll actually drop this down to like 4 and I'll use a pressure controller on the curves. So I'll delete this and then I'll get in here with the pencil tool and hit some rocks. Okay, let's see if I can go a little bit more gentle. I don't want to auto close. Yes, something like that. There maybe I'll have to play around with the positioning of the rocks and such, but maybe have it like in front of them too, so it's almost like overlapping. It creates like a 3D thing. Something like that. Yeah, I was thinking that too, right? If I zoom out, they don't look contrasty enough, so maybe maybe hit it with I don't know, maybe increase the effect. Let's see. Let's zoom out right here. I don't know. At some point, it starts to get a little bit oversaturated. Can you see that? It's like it starts to get a little bit like if I go beyond 9, it almost loses its intensity. Maybe they just need to be bigger um, in order to be read well. I think the contrast looks really good at close, but maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate, um, and then we'll take these all. I'll take them in groups. I've got groups of 3 going on. Groups of 3. This is a group of 4. This is a group of 3. Yeah, thanks, man. And then we hit that. Oh, let me turn the other layer off real quick. When I'm now that I've resized them, they need to be sort of repositioned a little bit. And then maybe they need to sort of emanate from right out in front of them, just like it does on Vegeta, like it's like in front of his face. Oh, what I feel like there's something missing though. It's like his eyes need to do some kind of expressing. What if I just let's experiment with the color of the eyes a little bit? Like I don't want to make them red. That's really scary. And also, I'm not sure. I mean, when Vegeta goes Super Saiyan, like his eyes just get like full blown like white with a yellowish glow. I mean, when he's starting to power up, you can still see his pupils, but when he just like when he just loses it and goes nuts, his eyes are just pure white. Thanks, man. All right, what I'm gonna try something. What I want to do is I want to hit it with a gradient, a radial gradient, and we'll go like 30% in the middle, and then we'll go like this. So each eye will have this situation going on, like that. I don't know if that's quite working or not. Eh, maybe they need to glow just like maybe they need to glow. What I'll do is I'll copy the effect of this group, paste it onto these. Whoa, what happened? Wait 1 second. I see. But see, because it's on the white, it doesn't quite hit, when that effect hits the white skin part, it doesn't quite pop like it should. So maybe we just Yeah, it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. Maybe they just need to be white. I definitely just want to show some change in the eyes is all. So I'll go with, I'll just make sure we go solid, no gradient. Uh, I- what? Yeah, that's a tough spot. I don't know what to do. Oh, that's kind of cool. What if I turn those white? Got it. Got them. Oh man, that was a tough little mystery to solve, but we got it. That pops, right? Gotta back me up on this one, man. I mean, I'm feeling this one. It looks, I really like the way it looks. Except I'm going to increase the intensity to about 64, and I'm going to increase the radius another 3 pixels, maybe 4 pixels. I feel like I can go further so that it reads well. Yeah, I'm starting to see it now too. I think also with the white eyes and the Gundam vibe on the thing. Yeah, there's a Gundam vibe there for sure. But what do you think? I liked your idea about the floating rocks, so I'm thinking maybe instead of the stretchy crown, maybe I'll go with a floating crown. Like that could be really cool. Let me just try it. Oh, not this one. This one. Like somehow. Yeah, man. It's like kind of pops off of his head. Oh man. All right. Man, I think with that we're at 2 minutes and we're 2 hours and 45 minutes. Johnny, man, I gotta call it a night, and it's getting a little bit late, and we gotta take that walk before it gets too late. We live in a nice little area, so it's not dangerous or anything. There's lots of people out at this time of night, but yeah. Hey man, thanks for dropping back by. That's really nice of you, man. This is so much fun. Thanks for the great ideas too. This, if nothing else, this one should be uh the one that hits hard when I submit for the contest. I have to get those rocks really nicely drawn so that they read really well, but it'll do it. Hey, thanks, man. Uh, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, man. I don't know. Oh, that last one was a killer, right? Okay, man. I'm out of here. Uh, Anybody who dropped by after this is posted, thanks for dropping by the channel, and keep working hard. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna come again real soon, and we'll finish this up. I will get this done and submitted on time. So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, man. You too. Have a great night, Johnny Omaha. Bye, everybody. Cheers.